Hi, this is Marita from Ruby Soup with Pearl Juice, and today I am bringing you a book haul. So here in Stockholm, at the end of February to the beginning of March, there was a gigantic New Year book sale. I went to quite a few bookstores around Stockholm with my friend Missmagicgirl. So this is kind of a collab video. I'm gonna link her stuff down below. But anyway, just to get to the point, there were big sales everywhere and I bought a bunch of books for low prices. So let's get into it. So the first book that I bought was Thirst by Mahmoud Dowlabadi. Mahmoud Dowlabadi is considered like one of the most prominent Middle Eastern authors right now. He has also written the novel The Colonel and this one. He writes literary fiction and I believe he writes in Arabic. So I think this is a translated work, but I'm not 100% sure. This book is about a journalist during the Iraq-Iran war. He goes to a Iranian prison where they have Iraqi prisoners of war, and he is supposed to do a report on this. But there's like a lot of pressure on him, on this journalist, not to really tell the truth. And it is made very clear to him that when he writes this report, he is supposed to actually write a very demonizing picture of the Iranians. And he is actually not all for that because he feels as a journalist he should be telling the truth. So he's procrastinating, and then because of this, he ends up being in a situation where the prisoners and him and everyone else there are kind of like running out of water, and they're gonna potentially maybe die of thirst, and the book kind of just takes off from there. It sounds really intriguing. It sounds very much like a political thriller, and I like those. I like books that are political thrillers, and it kind of also sounds like that it takes up a lot of really interesting moral dilemmas and goes into morally gray areas. So this is going to be very exciting. The next book that I bought is Three Fat Men by Yuri Oleshi. This is a Russian modern classic book, and the plot is kind of like really complicated. So I'm actually just going to quickly skim read the summary from the inside here. Revolution is brewing outside the palace walls, and three fat men who rule the land with an iron fist are getting fatter as the news gets worse. Led by the tightrope walker Tibilus, the revolutionary forces, made up of ordinary citizens and the palace guard, embark on a mission to rescue Prospero the armorer from his imprisonment in the Turin's zoo. Meanwhile, Dr. Gasper Arneri is entrusted with a difficult and challenging mission to repair the precious doll belonging to the three fat men's heir, Tutti. And this kind of has also been marketed as like really surrealistic and really like borderline absurd literature, while also kind of touching on a lot of political themes. And I thought that sounded really fun. Surrealism and absurd literature is like not necessarily the most popular types of fiction out there, but I really enjoy those kinds of stories. I really love absurd and surrealistic fiction. So I'm all here for that. I also got some really cheap manga. I got volume 8 and volume 9 of Oku the Inner Chambers. This is a kind of like alternative history manga where due to a plague that hits Japan, then Japan kind of is forced into a position where they have to trade their male shogun for a female one, and basically that translates into Japan becoming a much more matriarchal instead of patriarchal society. And this series has won a lot of awards. It won the Eisner Award, I believe, when it was like first translated into English. And this is written by a woman called Fumi Yoshinaga. And Fumi Yoshinaga is a manga artist that I really respect. Her Her most famous work is maybe the one-shot manga All My Darling Daughters, which is a fantastic comic. It it kind of talked about many different stories that were all tied together, and it touched on a lot of really important and very brave topics. And I have actually kind of read the first 3 volumes of this series, and I want to kind of continue with it, so very excited for that. The next book that I got was a translated work, The Explosion Chronicles by Jan Lianke. This is a Chinese novel that was longlisted for the Man Booker International Prize. It kind of is a depiction of a Henan province area in China where the people that lived there have first kind of like lived very impoverished lives, but then due to random circumstances, they all of a sudden become really industrialized and modernized and enriched. And the book kind of follows a very like satirical exploration of what happens when there's all of a sudden a big economic boom in a very small town, so to speak. Jan Lianke is one of China's most famous authors, but he's also, at least in China, he's been a bit controversial. Some of his previous works, like Serve the People and Dreams of Ding Village, have been like censored and banned. But he's also a bit of a bestseller over there, so he's a controversial but quite beloved author. And his work is interesting in that he always talks about things from a very cynical, very biting, satirical point of view. But there's also a lot of like warmth, and Jan Lianke as an author also, like when you hear him talk and when he talks about his books, he very much is like writing because he believes that people can be the best that they could be if they kind of stopped thinking about money so much and started thinking about people instead. So yeah, he's worth checking out. And the last 2 books that I got were some young adult books. I got Aristotle and Dante Discovered the Secrets of the Universe, and I also got Refugee Boy. This book, Refugee Boy, it is a British young adult novel. It is written by a guy called Benjamin Shefania, and it tells the story of a young boy who has an Eritrean mother and an Ethiopian father. And because these 2 countries are kind of like in a bit of a conflict when this book takes place, then his father like takes him to London and says that it's just going to be a trip. But then the boy wakes up and his father is gone, and it turns out that the father was trying to make it so that the son could live in England because he believed that it would be safer there. And then it kind of takes off from there. It sounds like a very topical story, and I think it's like really important to read books about refugees and immigrants and such, because those are like really timely questions right now, and they're also stories that the mainstream media often like ignores or kind of simplifies. And immigration and refugee questions they're human stories, and that's very often forgotten in all the political discussions and all the news and such. So I'm really much looking forward to reading this. And this is an Own Voices Mexican-American book about 2 male young teenagers that first become friends and then fall in love. And it's been kind of like a lot of people on BookTube really adore this book and talk about it all the time. So it's time that I kind of educate myself on that. So those were the books that I bought this month, and I probably shouldn't have because I'm kind of broke, but what you do. Have you guys heard of any of these books, or have you guys just recently bought any books that you would like to share with me? I would love to hear your thoughts. Comment down below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!